What's up, guys? Today we're going to show you how to disable / delete the SIP session helper on your FortiGate. This usually improves VoIP quality, and if you put in a support ticket with Fortinet support, this is the first thing that they'll recommend that you do. It usually will fix any one-way audio issues or issues with phones registering with the online VoIP cloud provider. I typically delete this as part of my baseline config on all firewalls because if any point in time the user decides that they want to deploy VoIP, they will most likely have an issue with it. So the first thing that you need to do is you want to launch the command line on your FortiGate. I typically just do this through the web GUI here, but you can do it via SSH or any other method. The first setting that we need to delete is called it's numbered, and it's one of the session helpers that's pre-built into the FortiGate firewall. So it might look a little different on yours because I have VDOMs enabled, but it's still kind of the same thing. So you're going to do config system session helper, and if you do a show, you can see all of the different session helpers that are pre-built into the firewall here. And the one that we want to delete is this number 13 right here, because this is the one that causes the problems. So what we'll do here is we will delete 13 in to save. Now, this isn't all you have to do, but the session helper itself is deleted, and there's a few other commands that we have to do. You won't have to switch to a different VDOM, but the other commands that you have to run are part of the system settings and not the global settings. So what we'll do here is we are going to do config system settings and then set. We'll just do a show. So some of the ones that we have to do is show full grep SIP. So we need to disable this guy. You can see that he's enabled by default. So what we'll do is just set SIP nat trace disable. And then the next one that we need to look at is the ALG. Sorry, guys. So this guy right here, set default VoIP ALG mode. It's set to proxy based by default. So you actually need to set that to kernel based, kernel helper based. Right. Okay. So we'll go ahead and we'll click enter there, and we'll do end. And that should be having the SIP session helper completely removed from your firewall. Now, the only caveat to that is that any existing sessions on the phones, like any open sessions that the phones may have with VoIP provider, they will not be affected by the changes that we just made. So what Fortinet typically recommends is that you clear the sessions for your phones. Now, it's a little bit easier to do. Let's say you want to just clear them. You can either reboot your device, your firewall, reboot your phones, or you can manually clear the sessions. And the way to do that would be to diagnose system session clear. This is going to clear all of the sessions on your firewall. So this might impact somebody if they're on a VoIP call or if they're using Microsoft Teams or anything else that's like traffic sensitive if the session gets closed. So what you would want to do here is if you have your own VLAN, you can filter by specific like interfaces or networks or anything like that. So like if you wanted to do it, if you had like your phones were on a VLAN called VoIP, if you wanted to just set a filter for this, you could do that. I think I have one in test. Yeah. So let's say that my phones are on my test VLAN and I'm setting a filter for my source interface of test. And then I want to do diagnosis session clear. This would essentially create a filter and say, I just want to clear the sessions on this network, and then it would clear. And at this point, all my phones should kind of be able to use the new config of having that session helper. So as I've had in the past where sometimes you need to reboot the phones just to make sure if one phone's kind of this should take care of it. Yeah, so that's how to go ahead and delete the session helper on the FortiGate firewalls. Thanks for watching and have a great day.